Hello and welcome to another podcast episode. I am back from London. We'll talk about London in a minute and the adventures of Stitch Festival. I'll show you what I bought this Stitch Festival, what I knitted, show you something else that arrived elsewhere that I'm very excited about, and I got some new magazine designs that have come out in the last week. And I finished something as well, and I'm about to cast on something new, which I probably shouldn't cast on the app, but I'm going to anyway. So I'll talk about that as well. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you're new here, my name is Anniken. I design knitting patterns. I teach knitting workshops online and in person, and I sell yarn for our website YarnAddict.co.uk. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. I have some workshops coming up, so I'll quickly just run through those very quickly, not a lot. April 24th and 25th, I'm at Black Sheep Balls. I'm doing filet crochet. That was full, but a space became available, but I haven't checked whether it's filled up yet. So do go and check that out, because there may be a space for the filet crochet on the Friday. And then at the end of June, 19th and 20th of June, I'm back at Black Sheep Balls doing filet crochet on the Friday and top down raglan on the Saturday. That is full as far as I know, at least it was. It's always worth checking if they do a waiting list, because sometimes people do cancel. And then in July, I'm back on the 17th and 18th doing Orenburg lace knitting and two-colour brioche knitting. Two-colour brioche is very popular. I haven't looked to see if any of these are full. I looked last week prior to London, and I haven't looked since. So do go and check them out. I'll link all them below so you can check them out. So let's chat about London. I had planned to do a separate video about London, but because I planned to vlog a bit and stuff, but I filmed a bit the first day and then I didn't really film a lot of other stuff. As I was getting everything ready, I had a tote bag sitting behind my chair, and I would just put everything in there as I was getting it ready. So the yarn was sorted into Ziploc bags. The notes for each class was in folders. I took out the needles I needed. I ordered some extra crochet hooks so I could be self-sufficient in crochet hooks, all that kind of stuff. So everything went in my tote bag. And then a couple of days before I left, I took everything out, checked everything off my checklist, put everything back in. Then I took it into the spare bedroom where my suitcase was, because I wanted to pack everything into my carry-on suitcase, because I was going up to London by train and then going on the tube. So I wanted everything in one bag. So I went in there, I took everything out, packed it in my suitcase. I got to London, went to the hotel, dropped my luggage, and then in the evening when I got back to the hotel, probably about 8 o'clock, maybe 7, 8 o'clock, I noticed that this pouch was missing. Now you can see there's a lot of stuff in this pouch. So for my seaming knitted fabric, my mattress stitch workshops, I had knitted a square, about 10 to 12 centimeters square. And I had done, some of them I did for last autumn for knit and stitch, but I knitted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'd knitted some more for this, and then I'd also done for my buttonhole class. I had done, let me just put these back in there so I use them next time. For buttonhole class, I'd done a sample buttonhole thing with a buttonhole in garter stitch and in rib. Then I'd done these little strips that they could use to pick up, because the class was on picking up stitches for a button band and 1 row buttonhole. So I knitted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these. I knew there were 4 people booked on the workshop when I left, so I thought I'll just keep an eye on the bookings and knit more if I need to. Anyway, when I got back to the hotel on the first evening, I opened my bag, opened my suitcase, got my tote bag out, looked for everything I needed for the first day, put everything in my tote bag, and this one was nowhere to be seen. So I emptied my whole suitcase onto the bed, couldn't find this one at all, and I thought, oh, have I left it at home? I could have packed up my suitcase and got on the next train home. I was that stressed out about it. So I checked how many bookings there were for my workshop. Now the buttonhole workshop I was teaching think it was Thursday afternoon, but I only have 4 bookings for that. So I started knitting those little strips of button bands. I made them slightly narrow because I thought it's only an hour class. I thought they only have to be able to pick up along one edge. So I did those, and then also, yeah, that book class was on Thursday evening. So I did those on Wednesday evening. I stayed up quite late. So by the time I actually got to bed and finished reading and stuff, it was probably close to midnight. And then I had an early class on the Thursdays. I think I got up at like 6 in the morning, so I was a bit tired. And then I took some balls of yarn with me, and I had a big break in the afternoon on the Thursday, and I went and found a pub around the corner from Business Design Centre in Islington, and I sat outside, ordered my lunch, and then I sat there knitting for like 3.5 hours. And I borrowed an ironing board from the hotel and iron so I could press them. And so basically, the first evening when I got back to the hotel, my break in the middle of the day, my 4-hour break in the middle of the day on the Thursday evening, and first thing Friday morning, I was just knitting squares to replace these. So when I got there on Wednesday, I went straight to the hotel. I stayed in an easy hotel, Shoreditch. First time I've stayed in an easy hotel. I actually recorded a quick review of it, which is going to be out on my channel as a bonus video on Sunday. So if you're interested in what an easy hotel is like, is it worth staying at an easy hotel? Go and check that video out. It'll be out this Sunday. I think it's 6 o'clock in the evening. Or if it pops up in your feed and you're thinking, why was she doing an easy hotel review? That's why, because I watched a few of those before I booked it. So I thought it might be interesting doing my own to see what people think. I decided to go to West London to the Design Museum. Originally, I planned to go to the V&A Museum, but I've been there loads of times, and I think the most interesting thing I like looking at there is the fashion stuff, and I think that exhibit is closed at the moment for refurbishment, which is desperately neat because it's been exactly the same display now for, I don't know, 20 years. Long time. There's also Marie Antoinette, I think it was, exhibition there, and I looked to see if I get tickets for that, but I couldn't. These special exhibitions they do that you have to pay for tend to sell out very quickly, and this isn't the first time that I missed out on one because I only looked on like a few days before I went to London. So next time I go to London, I will look in advance to see what's on and see if I can get tickets, because they're usually quite interesting. So I decided to go to the Design Museum because I've been before and I've thought about going before. So there was a little bit of a plough again, the tube there, because of where I had to change. Had to wait quite a long time at the tube station. But I could sit out, it was one of the outside tube stations that's above ground, so I could sit outside. It was quite pleasant. Got there, had a look around. The free exhibitions aren't that extensive or that great unless I missed a section, which is possible, but it's not a lot that's free. They did do a Wes Anderson exhibition. I watched, I think, at least 2 of his films, and they were good but interesting. I'm not a huge Wes Anderson fan, so I was like, I'm not that bothered about seeing this exhibition. And then there was also an exhibition about a nightclub in London that I'd never heard of before because I didn't grow up here and I'm probably the wrong generation. I think it was a nightclub maybe in the 70s or 80s that was popular. It's called Blitz or something, I'm not sure, but I didn't grow up here. I haven't got a clue. So I wasn't interested in that. So I just walked around the free exhibition, and then I walked, it's right next to Holland Park. So I walked up through Holland Park to the Japanese garden called Kyoto Gardens. And I'll show a little clip about that while I'm talking. That's beautiful. It was smaller than I thought it was, but it's beautiful. It was quite busy. So trying to film was quite difficult because there's a lot of people around, but it was beautiful. I just walked around there. There were some seats, and I would have loved to have sat down there for a while because some of the benches were in the shade and it was quite warm, and that would have been absolutely blissful to sit in the shade and get my knitting out. But all the seats were taken, and I walked around for a bit and all the seats were taken, so I left. Decided I wanted to go from there to Regent Street. I wanted to go to Liberty. So I could have got the tube from Holland Park, I think it was, to Oxford Circus, but I could also cycle, and half of that journey is through, well, most of it is through, probably 2/3 of it is through Hyde Park and Mayfair, so it's fairly low traffic, no traffic or low traffic. So I picked up a Lime bike, which is the electric bike so you can hire in London. I have the app on my phone because I've done it before. I went to Liberty, had a look around there, I always love looking at Liberty. Do I buy anything from there? No, most of the time I don't. I did buy one of their tote bags. They had these really lovely dark blue tote bags with like one of their gorgeous prints on it. I bought that. I haven't got it here. But I bought that and had a look around. I went to some other shops in that area. Then for some reason, I decided I wanted to go to Fortnum and Mason's. I don't know why. I haven't been for a few years. So I went down there and it was just packed full. I mean, it's obviously a very touristy shop. So for those who haven't been, they sell on the ground floor, they sell food and like chocolates and that kind of stuff. Then on higher floors, they sell like things for the home, toiletries, I don't know, gift stuff. And then the top floor, there's a coffee shop. So I went on the top floor because at that point I was like, I could really do find somewhere to sit down and have a break and do a bit of knitting. And their cafe looked quite expensive, so I thought maybe I'll go somewhere else. So I walked down Piccadilly and found a coffee shop where they had very nice ice creams. So I had an ice cream and a drink. I sat there knitting for a while. Earlier on in Carnaby Street, I had been to a donut shop that sold the most. I mean, I didn't realize there were donuts till after I bought them, but they looked like small cakes. And they had some seating outside, so I sat outside eating my donut and drinking a cold drink and doing a bit of knitting for half an hour. Next day, I had an early workshop at Stitch Festival, so I taught my first workshop. Then I had half an hour break, taught my second workshop. Then I had this long 4.5 hour break, so I sat knitting in the sunshine. Enjoyed it, chatted for quite a while to a lady who had come for the afternoon. She'd come down from somewhere in the north of England on the train and was going back home that evening. And chatted to her for a while and went back and taught my last workshop. Back to the hotel and just sat there knitting swatches, watching Netflix all evening. Second day as well, I was teaching. I was a bit nervous about this mattress stitch workshop. What I should have done, since I realised I didn't have these swatches, is I should have spoken to the workshop team and say, is there any chance you can cap it at like 10? So I was really nervous right up until the start of the workshop. I kept double checking on my phone what the numbers were, but it was fine. Taught that day. And then taught on the Saturday. I had quite long breaks in the afternoon on all days, so I tried to find somewhere nice to sit and knit. On the Friday afternoon, because I'd finished my mattress stitch workshop, I was knitting on my deadline project, and on Saturday as well I was knitting on my deadline project, and on the train on the way home I was knitting on my deadline project, which I finally finished on Tuesday evening. So once I finished on Tuesday evening, I got on with my next project. So let me just put that on because it's finished. So my sparkly cashmere pellets, long cashmere pellets jumper is finished. I'll take some pictures of it. I didn't put it on when I started filming because it was quite hot in there, but I've had the window open. It's nice, cool down a bit. I can actually wear it. Isn't it sparkly? So I use the Lang Cashmere Extra Lace, which is very fine. It's 320 meters per 25 grams. It's very, very fine. And the Lang pellets, you need about 3 of these for each one of these. So I used 5 of these, and I used 14.5 of these. So it does work out quite expensive. I bought the cashmere, 10 of the pellets wholesale, and then I ordered 5 pellets while I was in Norway because I was running out. I was worried because the sleeves, I didn't calculate properly, so they were a bit snug. When I blocked this last night, I didn't block it properly. Because I finished it late yesterday afternoon, and I wanted it dry for this morning, so I didn't actually wash it. I just sprayed the back of it, then I put it with the back down of the table, stretched it out, and then I sprayed the front of it quite liberally, so it was quite damp, but it wasn't like soaking wet. And then I pinned it out, stretched it a little bit, and left it to dry. I tried it on last week. The last week or was the week before? I can't remember. And it fitted, but it was a bit snug. It fits better now. Like the sleeves have a little bit more ease in it. I'm not 100% happy with this. One thing, I should have gone for the Mohair 21 in the purple rather than the cashmere. I think that would have looked better. I knitted with the mohair 21 and the pellets for my Luxe shawl, which is going to be released soon. I've ordered some yarn to make up some kits for it, so as soon as the yarn gets here, I'll release it. It's just, I meant to order the yarn while I was in Norway and I completely forgot. And with everything that's been going on, I've just put it off because I had to look at shade cards and make decisions and stuff like that. So I wish I'd gone for this with the pellets rather than the cashmere and pellets. I hadn't tried either this or the cashmere before. This is a very high quality mohair. It's incredibly fine. I've heard somebody at Unravel, and they were looking at it on my stall, telling their friend that, I can't remember who said it, they were telling their friend that this is normally only used in like high fashion, not normally used in hand knitting. It's incredibly fine. It doesn't shed as much as a lot of other mohair yarns I've knitted with, which I like because I don't like sheddy mohair. But this knitting with this and the sequin, yes, the sequins do make it not as soft as if it was the mohair alone, obviously. But it's better than knitting with this. It felt quite rough knitting it with the cashmere, whereas it felt much softer knitting it with the mohair, which kind of makes sense. I made a mistake when I calculated the neckline. I should have made the neckline a bit deeper. So I picked up more stitches around the neckline than what I normally do. I have a certain ratio and always use. I did more than that. And then I just did 2 rounds. Did a pull round, a knit round with a decrease at the middle hip front because it's supposed to be a V-neck, although it doesn't really look like a V-neck. And then I cast off. So I only did 2 rounds and a cast off round because I was worried that the neckline was going to be a bit short. A bit small and a bit tight. It's fine. The cast off is quite stretchy, so I can get it over my head without ripping it. Because that happened a couple of years ago on another jumper. Also, the armhole. I started the increases for the armholes too early. I wish I'd done dropped shoulder. I think that would have been better. But I started the increases for the armholes too quickly. I should have gone further down. The problem is when you increase for a set-in sleeve, or increase or decrease for the armhole shaping for a set-in sleeve in larger sizes, there isn't a ton of difference in the shoulder width of somebody who's a size 10 and somebody who's my size, which is around 22-ish. But there's obviously a big difference in bust size. So you've got to calculate the width of your shoulders and then the bust size, and then work out how many stitches you need to increase to get from here to your bust measurement. And that's quite a lot. And I sometimes find that a little bit tricky on larger sizes because you have to increase on every row. And I started them a little bit earlier. I could have done starting them slightly further down. But I think when I'm wearing it, it looks fine. And the sleeves fit well. When I picked up all the stitches for the sleeves, I can't remember whether I was still in Norway, but was I doing that just before I left Norway? I think I was. I can't remember. I couldn't remember. I hadn't actually worked out that part of the pattern, which is a bit of a mistake. So I just kind of did it as I was doing it. And I very quickly thought, I think I picked up too few stitches. I stuck my arm in the sleeve from like the bottom end, just stuck my arm in like that and thought, yeah, it's okay. And then carried on. I could have done with picking up slightly more stitches and decreasing slightly fewer stitches. Also, when I blocked it, I stretched the sleeves out a bit, and this bit probably stretched out a little bit too much. But it's the same on both, so I don't mind that too much. But I was really worried about the sleeves. I'm wearing a thin long sleeve t-shirt underneath today. It fits fine. If I'd been wearing a t-shirt, I have some long sleeve tops that have they're quite a sort of slightly oversized and slightly bigger sleeves. Or if I'm wearing a shirt underneath, that wouldn't fit. The sleeves there'd be too much fabric in the sleeves. So I can wear this under like a fairly fitted long sleeve t-shirt, but not under a shirt, for example, which is fine. But I like it. It fits the length. I was worried the length was going to be too short, and I thought maybe I should have done the sleeves first, so I could have used all this to make the length longer. But the length is fine. It's kind of hip length. It's the length I like it, so I like the length, and it does fit. It hasn't got like a ton of ease, but it's got more ease than I thought it would have. It's quite a stretchy fabric. Let's see how much it stretches. It's quite an elastic fabric, which surprised me. I am really happy with it. Will I knit it again? No. Will I write up the pattern for it? No. I am considering for the autumn there is a black color of this, which has colored sequins in it. And there's a black mohair 21. I want to do that. I'm also thinking about doing this color with a purple mohair, but I'm thinking, am I just duplicating this and it's so much point? But I do want to do the black mohair 21 with the black yarn, the black sequin yarn, but the yarn is black, but the sequins are coloured. So I want to do that. One thing I made a mistake on this, the yarn I ordered in Norway was a different dye lot than what I'd ordered here, obviously, and the main difference was that the sequins were slightly darker on the one I bought in Norway. So when I started knitting with it, I could tell, and for a couple of rounds I kind of alternated. For a few, half a ball I alternated. I don't think now that I'm wearing it that it's that obvious, really, but because the sequins don't all end up on the right side, some of them are on the wrong side anyway, so they're a bit sort of scattered and random anyway. So I don't think it looks that much. I think it looks fine, and it catches the light and stuff, so I think the two different dye lots look fine. That's part of the reason I realised that I'd missed on the armhole shaping a bit. I didn't want to unravel it because it's very difficult to unravel the sequins. There are a lot of sequins, so if you look here, can you see how close together they are? I don't know if it's easy to see that, but they're very close together and they're quite big. So unraveling this is a bit of a nightmare. Weaving in the ends as well is a bit challenging. So most of the ends I knitted in, apart from where I picked up stitches and cast off and things like that. I had to weave those in, and I did struggle a bit yesterday afternoon doing that. But I'm really pleased it's finished. This is the second thing I finished this week, because I also finished my deadline project. So first I booked one deadline project of one of my sample knitters knitted. It's actually been finished for a while. I just haven't gone around to blocking it because the deadline got moved. So I just left it to block it. I should have blocked it before I went to London, but I just left it. So first I blocked that on Sunday evening. Then I blocked my, and that took forever to dry. And then I blocked my sample that I've been knitting on Tuesday evening. And then yesterday evening I blocked this, and because I wanted it to be so I could wear it this morning, so I could film this because I'm out this afternoon, and I don't want the stress of filming this, editing it, uploading it, and all that stuff on Friday before it goes live at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I didn't want that stress. No, 3 o'clock in the afternoon it goes live. I didn't want that stress, so instead of washing this, I just sprayed it with water. I'm happy with it. I'm going to wear it a bit and see what I think of it. Yeah, I'm quite happy with it. Am I overjoyed with it? Will I knit this again? No, not with the cashmere, I don't think. Cashmere and the mohair 21 are about the same price, and I think the mohair is nicer to knit with. So I will do that next time. But yeah, it does work out quite an expensive sweater, and I do appreciate that I got some of this wholesale. I did say last week that I had other knitting ready to go, so that's all the cashmere I had left, and that's the palettes I had left. So waiting in the wings, which I did talk about last week, was this sweater, my Cyberball sweater, which I started last September and I planned to finish last autumn, so I have it to wear over the winter. I thought last week when I picked it up that I'd already done one whole sleeve, and I was halfway through the second sleeve. That turned out not to be the case. I can't remember where I was, but I knitted quite a bit last night, probably like that much. I forgot to put a marker in, but that's the first sleeve, and I have the whole second sleeve. And as I was knitting it last night, I kept thinking about another project I want to do, which I hadn't planned to cast on yet. I had promised myself I would finish this first. I kept thinking about this other project I want to make. And I thought, I don't think I've got any deadlines till May. I need to get on with them early since the yarn arrives, because I'm away for the first half of May, because we're going to Italy for my husband's 60th birthday. So last night I couldn't sleep, so I got up and I wound the yarn by hand, which I should have got my winding equipment up, but I didn't want to come in here and root around trying to find where I put it and make a noise. And I thought I can knit a swatch so I can talk about it today. So I knitted a swatch with the new yarn. I talked about this yarn last week. It's one I sell on my website. I don't have any on this color at the moment. This is Kapow Pink. It's the Nipro Symphony Terra yarn, which is a 4-ply yarn, the sock yarn. So I ordered this yarn. I ordered 4 skeins of it, and I think this will be enough for a sweater. I need to actually weigh this swatch and put it through my spreadsheet to work it out. And I want like a very simple eyelet pattern. So I did a couple different kind of combinations on my swatch to work out what I liked. So I might try this afternoon or around before lunch to quickly write up the start of the pattern so I can cast on this afternoon. Shouldn't really, but I should finish that sample sweater. But this feels like it could be a lot lighter, even though it's 4-ply, it's very light. I'm doing it on 3.5mm needles. Feels very light. It's going to be fairly open. So I feel like that might be a better kind of like summer sweater. It may still end up being too warm. I'm kind of imagining I can finish it and wear it when we go to Italy. Maybe too warm in Italy for the first half of May. I may be dreaming, but anyway, I'm going to cast it on because I fancy knitting with that pink. My hat that I was cast on while I was in Norway, I took it to London with me. I didn't touch it at all, so that's at the same stage. Now, I don't know whether we'll be going out and doing anything this weekend, but the following weekend is Easter. My daughters are both home for the Easter long weekend, and then my oldest daughter is staying home for, I think, about 10 days in total. So we'll probably be going out for a bit over the Easter weekend. So that will be my out and about project. So I thought I'll bring that back downstairs with me so I can take that out and about with me when we go out over the Easter weekend. I hopefully make a bit of progress. Right, I did buy something at Stitch Festival. I didn't buy any yarn because I'm on a bit of a self-imposed yarn ban because of the fact that we're moving later in the year. For Mother's Day recently, my daughters got me these earrings from Zooniverse. I'll link her Instagram below if I remember it, but I'll put her name on the screen. She's on Instagram. So I wore these on the way up to London. They are quite big. If I can get them in without looking in the mirror. I wore these going up to London. I wore them on one of the days on Stitch Festival. As you can see, they're a bit big. I did have a few compliments about them when I was walking around London on the first day. And I thought I really like these kind of earrings in a smaller size. So I went by her stall, which was just outside the workshop area. So very convenient. And I can't remember, I don't know her name. Chatted to her a lot at travel because she was in the same room as me, and had a quick chat with her at the Stitch Festival. One day, I think it was the Friday morning maybe, I was basically hanging around the stall till the show opened so I could pounce on her the second she turned up. And I got these because these are a bit smaller, and these ones are a bit long. When I was sitting on the train on the way up to London, they kept like poking my shoulders, and they're a little bit long. But these are much better. Don't know whether you can see them that well, but they look like that. They're a lot better because they're a bit smaller, and I really, really like them. Got to be a bit careful if I'm going to wear them today when I take my sweater off. But yeah, they go really well with my sweater, don't they? I keep those on for now. So I got these ones, the silver ones my daughter got for me for my daughters got for me for Mother's Day. I wish I realised I should do this size because I would have asked for that size instead, because I think I'll wear those a lot more. And then I went by I think it was the last day, I had a walk around because I had an early workshop that finished just after the show started. So I had a walk around and I found the Pigeon's Nest store. I ordered some stuff from her online before and I follow her on Instagram. She makes these crochet hooks that have these beads on them, and I've been wanting to try them for a while. So I went by her stall to see what she did. I can't remember what size. I just realized the size is not on the actual hook, which is a bit annoying, but I think they were 3.5. But it's a lilac hook. Basically chose a color bead I liked. I do use 3.5 a lot because I like crocheting with 4-ply yarn. But I've heard that these are very comfortable to crochet with. I don't like these thin metal hooks, but I've heard that these with the beads are very ergonomic and comfortable to crochet with. So I thought I'd give them a try. I want to do a series on my YouTube channel reviewing various crochet hooks because I've been getting into crochet a lot more lately. So I been wanting to get these for a while, so as I was there I thought I'd choose one. It's a little bit annoying that it doesn't say the size on it, but I think it's 3.5. I guess you can just put it through like a needle sizer. And then she does like various things, pouches, stickers and pencils with various sayings on them. So I got 2 pencils, both the same neon pink. The pink, or is it orange? I think it's pink. One says resting stitch face. And the other one says Alexa weaving my ends. We don't have Alexa. I don't like the idea of having an Alexa, but I do like Alexa weaving my ends. If I had an Alexa, that would definitely be something I would like to use Alexa for. So I really like that. So the new episode of Knitting Magazine is out today. I actually did film a kind of like a vlog style video on how I designed and knitted this. And then I forgot to film like the final bit when I finished it before I sent it off to the magazine. I haven't watched or edited most of what I filmed, so I'm going to watch it and edit it later there tomorrow. And if the sample comes back by, say, Monday, I might try and film another thing and then put the whole thing together and go out on Tuesday. If not, I don't know. But the magazine is out. That is my sample. I love this. I accidentally miscalculated the yarn because I thought I originally swatched in I thought that was my swatch. Oh, there's my swatch. This is my original swatch. So it uses intarsia techniques on the back, but very simple intarsia where you just change colors in the middle of the row. I originally swatched in DK yarn, but we ended up with sock yarn. So the amount I'd said I needed was too much because you used less for 4-ply yarn. So I have I only used like just over half the yarn. And while I was knitting it, I was thinking, is there a way I can try and hack this when it comes back and make it for me, enlarge it for me. I was thinking, because I don't want to re-knit the whole thing, so I was thinking, can I undo the side seams and add a panel at the sides? But I would also have to undo the sleeves and re-knit the sleeves, which I topped down and knitted in, so that would be fairly easy. But that's what it looks like. So there's one pink sleeve, one lime green sleeve, and then the colors are kind of reversed. So the this has got the lime green button band, and this has got the pink button band to match the pink sleeve. Doesn't have a picture of the back here, but the back is like that, where the colors change in the middle of the row. I'm not going to show you all of that now, but can you see there's a knitter necklace? My daughter's got me one of those from Tatty Divine last year for Mother's Day, and the fastening on it broke. And I contacted them. It took me a few months to contact them because I was away a lot last spring. And basically they were like, tough, not interested in replacing it or anything. So I'm a little bit upset with them. I may actually pay to get it replaced myself. I just haven't gotten around to it. I was just going to see if there was a picture on the inside where they show the back. Yes, there is. So I've got to try not to show you the pattern. There we go. So close up of the front. It's quite a small picture, so I don't think you can see it that well. But yeah, I'm really pleased with it, really happy with it. There's some fab, colourful, fun designs in this issue. I really like it. Some very colourful designs, very bright and fun designs. A lot of stripes. Oh, that's fun. I like that top. That kind of diamond shaped top. That's fun. So yeah, very bright, colourful stuff, which is fantastic. So the yarn I use is from Marmy and Flory, Disco Neon Nep 4-ply. It's the first time I've knitted with yarn from Marmy and Flory, I think. Is it? Yes, it is, I think. I bought a clutch frame from them last year. It was the first time I used their yarn. So it's a Neon Nep, Disco Neon Nep 4-ply, and I used, I can't remember what the colour's called, bright pink and neon green, but they do other colours if those colours aren't your thing. You could use those colours. She also did a combination. One of the choices she gave me was neon pink and orange, but I'm not an orange fan, so I decided to go for the neon green instead. There's an interview with Ted Knits UK and loads of beautiful colours. And there's a thing about no waste shawl knitting, an article by Emma Vining, who does some beautiful shawls. A thing, Vicky Howell column on Neuro Knits. I haven't read this yet because it arrived yesterday, I think. And my husband had put it on my desk, so I looked at it and then I left it here. So if I take it downstairs, I'll just forget it for when I'm filming this. I haven't actually had time to look at it yet. But yeah, it's a really cool issue, loads of really colourful, bright stuff, and I just love the fact that my design is on the cover, so do go and check that out. There may be a separate video about it next week or the week after, I don't know yet, we'll see. It also includes this free booklet on intarsia knitting, because there are a few intarsia patterns in there, and this has some more intarsia patterns plus a bit of a kind of tutorial about how to knit intarsia, plus some other pictures, plus some other patterns. Look at that, isn't that gorgeous? I love one of those Shetland sweater frames. The Knit magazine has also come out and also has one of my patterns in it. I can't pronounce what they've called it. Hang on. Gwanwyn? I don't know, I think it's Welsh. I'm assuming it's Welsh. I'll put the name on the screen and you can decide whether I'm pronouncing it correctly or not. So it's a sweater, fairly relaxed fit with lace. It has lace along the V-neck at the top here. Otherwise, it's all stocking stitch, knitted in one piece. Very relaxed. Bit of a close-up of the lace. I think I have a separate video to come on this. I recorded a bit before I sent it off. I didn't realize that the pattern had been published because they hadn't sent me a copy of the magazine. So I only realized it a couple of days ago when it was on Ravelry, and I've just gone and downloaded the magazine on my Zinio app. So that was the Knitter issue 226, which was in the shops last Thursday, I think it was. That's what the cover looks like. So I haven't received a copy of it, so I didn't realize that it was out yet. So I downloaded it on the Zinio app on my tablet this morning so I could talk about it. There will be a video out on that because I did record a bit on that before I sent it off, so I will get that video out possibly next week, possibly the week after, I don't know. We'll see. I have a bag from Hohe & Co. Hohe Locatelli, who's a very popular knitter designer. I ordered this bag a couple of years ago now, I think, which I've used a lot. This one sits quite nicely on the floor. It's not too big, but it sits quite nicely. It's a bit squashed now because I'm used to it for a little bit. And it's really pretty, and it's perfect for a little project in it. You can sit on the floor next to my chair and just knit out of it. I also got one of her larger tote bags by last year sometime, but I find it too big. It's hanging up there. I haven't used it. I put it away thinking I'll probably sell it, and then I haven't done it, but I am thinking about selling it. It is bright pink. Love the color. It's just too big for what I really need. So I'm thinking about selling that. But I've had my eyes on this tote bag, which I think is called the Santa Cruz, but I can't remember. It's actually quite heavy, heavier than I thought it was. But I've had my eyes on this for a while, and last couple of weeks ago, I think it was in the sale. So I thought, right, let's go for it. Now, this is a metallic plum. In the picture, it looked more purple than this. It's actually more red than purple. So I'm a little bit disappointed in the color, but colors aren't always that accurate online. That's normal. I like the bag. It's quite wide, but the base, so it's got square base, but the base is quite like soft, so it hasn't got the structure. Like my pink bag will sit flat on the floor and its sides will stay upright more or less. It's softened a little bit since I've used it, but this one is more slouchy, so the bottom will sag. I guess you could put like a liner in it, or put like cut out piece of plastic or a piece of cardboard and put in the bottom to make it kind of flatten out. Inside it has like one slip pocket, short straps. It is quite wide. You can use it as a project bag. You can also use it just as a tote bag if you don't want to take too much stuff with you. I'll probably use it as a tote bag, just put it over my shoulder. It is quite heavy. I would have preferred it if it was slightly narrower, not so deep maybe, but they are sold as project bags, but you can use this as normal as well. But that's how it came packaged. So I would have preferred if the base was a bit more structured, so it would sit flat. I may need to see if I can cut out a bit of cardboard or something to put in the bottom of it. I used to have some like plastic bag base things that I bought for like some bags of soda a number of years ago. I might have a look to see if I still got some of those. I think I got rid of it, but I might try and order some of that and put that in the bottom, just to give it a little bit more structure so I can sit it. It still wouldn't sit up flat because the fabric is a lot softer. But I do really like it. It is really pretty and I'm happy with it, even though it wasn't quite the colour I was expecting it to be. I thought it would be more purple because it looked more purple online, but I do like it. I haven't had a chance to use it yet. You might come out with me over Easter when we go out for a day, just to put my like water bottle and my knitting in. I tend to carry small crossbody bags. Like this is This is not the new bag that came from Pom Pom London. This is like one of the biggest bags I carry, but sometimes most ones I carry are like about that size probably. So I can't fit my knitting and water bottle and stuff in this. So I have to carry something extra. Tuesday video this week was about the Malabrigo Timeless Knits book that I contributed to. I did talk about it last week in the podcast, but I've done a separate video showcasing the book. So if you haven't seen the book, go and look at that. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next week.